Hello, everybody. One of the things that we hear a lot about is this social construct, where sex is a social construct, because they want to constantly quote people like Simone de Beauvoir. That's her. She was a French philosopher, an atheist, a Marxist. She actually originally rode between Marxism. She didn't believe initially between leftists who believed that atheism was the precursor to socialism, and that capitalism, or that Christians were bringing on capitalism. She kind of wanted to. She thought they were both extremes. But when you start reading and understanding what she was about, you get to understand that her feminism was all based on a Marxist ideology. So she actually veered further left than people had assumed. She had worked with a lot of far left philosophers and sociologists, and it kind of delved into who she was. But the reason that I'm actually bringing up Simone de Beauvoir today is for one big thing. They want to talk about social construct, that it was a social construct, and that this meant, because of what she was talking about, this meant that you can come up with 50, 60, 70 different genders. That isn't what she meant. Let's go over what she really meant. What she meant was our social construct, the way a child is born, okay, leads them into the characteristics that we consider feminine. Okay? Wearing dresses, doing their nails, wearing earrings, wearing makeup. It's the way our society had. She believed that was what made it up. Okay? What she did not mean is what a lot of these Marxists and communists and all of these Sabbateans believe, is that she meant that boys could be girls because it's a social construct. Now you're actually delving into deconstructionism. Now you're delving into Derrida. You're delving even into Foucault. You're delving into these. Even Alinskyism as well, because believe what you believe, and you don't. And if they don't believe it, just keep pushing it. You're delving into a very Marxist ideology. Cultural Marxism is based on creating so many groups of oppression. Have everyone believe in their oppressionism. And by the way, that's what she was talking about. She said if not that it delved into socialism, it delved into oppression. That's what she meant. So I have to atheism delving into oppression. Same thing, oppression, socialism. But that way I don't get the words wrong. But for example, I'm cooking. And if you were to look at, I guess, cooking over a stove, you may think that this is more feminine characteristic. But over a period of time, we can change the social construct that it is okay for a man to stand over a stove and cook. Okay? But that isn't what these people believe. That isn't what you hear from these cultural Marxists. What the cultural Marxists are pushing, and these people who believe in Sabbatinism, is that it meant that transgenderism was in fact what she was talking about. And that's because they wanted to purposely misconstrue social construct. Do you think that we actually can push the boundaries that far? Which would lead everyone to believe that transgenderism is a social construct. It's not because they were born that way. They were socially manipulated into that. Just like I am a big believer that homosexuality is a social construct, is created not because people are born gay, but because they were manipulated by media, manipulated by peer pressure, manipulated by whatever, in order to parents even into believing that they are gay. And sometimes it happens to be due to children being raped. Okay, they have been traumatized. So, and they have never felt the love or support of the opposite sex. Okay? But people will try to combat me and say it has been proven that homosexuality has actually been proven that it was born that way. No, it never was. Simon LeVay's study was actually falsified, or it was actually proven wrong, and Dean Hamer's study was actually falsified, and both of those men happened to be gay. Both of those men were left-wing activists that were trying to prove that their sexuality was indeed a social construct. So, I'm here to not necessarily go over Simon LeVay or Dean Hamer. What I'm here to do is waking people up to Sabbatinism. That Sabbatinism is more than something that was created by Sabbatai Zevi and it is something that is alive today, that has pushed the whole sexual deviancy, the scale, the actual the scale of where we are today. Homosexuality was nothing more than just a way to smash down the steps, or smash down the door so you can go up the steps of Sabbatinism. Go with what was perceived as the least offensive, then go up the scale. Transgenderism was the next. Pedophilia is the next. Incest is next. Bestiality is next. Necrophilia is next. Human sacrifice is next. Cannibalism is next. So what's the whole purpose of Sabbatinism? Well, the Sabbateans believed, these are the anti-Jews, these are people that have falsified themselves, crypto-Jews, crypto-Catholics, crypto-Islamists. They're crypto. They believe in everything that is anti-Jewish law. That's what Sabbatinism is, anti-Jewish law. That's why when people say it's only people who are anti-Semitic, that believe in this kind of stuff. No, it's not. They may have been started by the first anti-Jews or the first Jews, but anyone who is a Sabbatinist believes in this concept. And the purpose is because Sabbatinists believe that the second coming of Christ will only come when the world is so messed up, it will do nothing more than force the second coming of Christ. Therefore, they can do their deed and kill God for good this time. Kill God for good. Okay, that's their belief. Now, whether or not we believe in it, that's irregardless. They believe in it. They believe in it. And they've been pushing it. How do we know they've been pushing it? From the movement of changing it from the Enlightenment period, where we believed in Christianity, we believed in God, we believed in objective truth, to now we believe in atheism. We believe in subjective truth. Everything seems to be subjectified, including the United States Constitution. They regard it how they see fit. They don't see it as a set truth. They see it how they see fit. Okay, if they see it, hold on one second. I'm opening up my lemonade today. Pink lemonade. I love pink lemonade. All right. They see how they see fit. Okay? So, they had to change the time frame, time period. And that was all done in the 60s. And you had all of these sociologists and philosophers. And that's what my book is going to be about, is about the changing of the guard, the changing of a time period, of Enlightenment period to this postmodernist period. It was done in an actual step process. One, they had to create a time period, create an era, create a time frame called this postmodernist period. They had to create that. That was a revolution. They had to push homosexuality to the point where there was enough empathy and sympathy that nobody was going to disregard them. Okay, and during that time, they had to constantly change the definition of homosexuality. The DSM was always the DSM 1, 2, and 3 constantly looking at changing term of homosexuality, lightening it up. Imagine the word homosexuality there, and every decade it was just being washed away, and eventually changed. Change the terminology, deconstructionism. Choose to call people gay, not homosexuals, because the word gay used to be known as happy. How do you hate somebody that's happy? If we called them Luciferian sodomites, would we like them? No. But they changed the word to the word gay. And they always try to hold the narrative and contain the narrative, which is still part of deconstructionism, but it's more about controlling language. It's more like Noam Chomsky, control the language. All of these famous philosophers are either atheists or Jews. Most of them are both, or gay. Okay, they all were heavily delved into Marxism, communism. None of them are capitalists, not one. So when I call socialism and communism, when I call it a Luciferian cult, there's a reason why. It very much is. They do not believe in God. Okay. So throughout the steps, you see that they were trying to change the guard, change the concept, try to lighten up Christianity. Look at what they're trying to do today. Try to take away Christian values, take away Christian books. There's a movement in California right now to actually try to outlaw selling Bibles in California. Really? Outlaw selling the Bible? Really? Okay. Try to outlaw and actually punish people who actually say prayer at halftime in a football game. Fire them. Control the narrative. Okay? This is what they do. So that happened. Then transgenderism was the next step, next pre-course. So how did that all happen? Once everything got in the door, the first thing that had to happen was once it got in the door, you had to actually legalize homosexuality. And that was the first step. In the late 90s, they went after minor classification of homosexuality. Then after that, they tried for a major classification so that they can get married. When they're doing these things, they were going right after holy matrimony. Holy matrimony being a Christian concept. They went after it. Tried to absolutely go after it. Push atheism. Are you saying God hates homosexuals? Science proves that they were born this way. You see that? You see what they did? Even though it was based on fake facts, they pushed those fake facts. Okay, they delved themselves right into the party of the Democrat Party. This was very easy because they changed the whole concept of liberalism. It was hard to change the whole concept of conservatism, so they went after liberalism, put themselves right in the heart of it. Okay, and then they started to enter themselves into the military. And this is where Barack Obama became a heavy factor of it. This is why when people talk about Barack Obama being a centrist, he was hardly a centrist. He was an anti-colonial, but well, just like Nelson Mandela. Anti-colonialism is a nice way of calling someone a communist light. Okay, and so they went after homosexuality. The first thing they said was, "Don't ask, don't tell." You don't ask. We don't ask. You don't tell. Then they went after allowing transgender people in there. This was part of the concept written by Sun Tzu to destroy the military from within, create chaos. Create chaos. Destroy the military from within. My belief is this has something to do with the Maoist attempt to try to overtake the United States. I believe it's more a Maoist attempt as opposed to a Russian Trotsky attempt. I think there's more Maoists out there. I believe that's why we saw a rise of China over the last 25 years. That's why I think we saw that. Right? All right. So, then in 2013 or 2015, I always forget which one, I think it was 2013, the Supreme Court, with the help of one conservative judge, made homosexuality a major classification. Now came the second step, introducing transgenderism. Keep pushing transgenderism in order to not only legalize it, but to normalize it. And if you've been awake, you've seen that over the last 4 years. And as we're seeing that, we're seeing the third step, which is pedophilia. Now they're trying to normalize pedophilia. Bring it to, but before they normalize it, they're introducing it. They're trying to go to places like TED Talks. So if you actually go onto YouTube here and look at TED Talks, and put up TED Talks pedophilia, you'll see that there are actually certain Marxists who are actually coming out and trying to normalize pedophilia. Keep going up the scale. And once that happens, then they can go into incest. Well, then you'll have Ilhan Omar marrying her brother, right? Try to go it along. My guess, and this is only a guess, a presumption, is once you get so high, then the others will fall in line like a scale, because it will be completely secularized. It's like, well, and once you get past incest, who cares about, or once you pass bestiality, who cares who you sleep with? And you want to sleep with a goat or a dog? Who cares? That's what they're going to say. Who cares if you want to fuck a dead person, right? You want to do that? Great, go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's what they'll say. And who cares if you want to murder somebody and use your body as human sacrifice? So what? So what? Okay? So all of this is next in line in the land of Sabbatinism. And this is why many people believe that the end times is not that far away, because of these Sabbateans. Okay? Wake up, people. Sabbatinism is real. All you have to do is look at it. They do things in the wide open. They just don't call it Sabbatinism. Use your head. I'm going to enjoy my dinner. I'll talk to you soon. Peace out.